Well, in fact, I've just returned from Helsinki for the Geoeconomics Week, where there was a lot of discussion about this meeting and, what lessons might have been learned since 2018 when President Trump last met with Putin. Again, didn't have others in the room. No one is exactly sure what was said, but have both sides learned to understand each other better? Well, you can see what President Trump is coming into this meeting with. There's both, more bad cop than we're used to from Trump to Putin. He's insisting that a ceasefire emerge from this, but he's coming in with some carrots as well. And so for Putin, who has been, running Russia for 25 years and
Wow.
does think in geopolitical terms more than in transactional terms. Putin's playing a long game, and he has said, one of his most famous quotes is that the greatest catastrophe, geopolitical catastrophe, was the collapse of the Soviet Union. So you have one leader coming in with a transactional perspective. He wants to do a deal and then go straight to a second meeting. I think Putin is going to do a bait and switch on this one.
So, Tina, what are the expectations here? Usually, when you get a summit of the leaders of Russia/Soviet Union in the U.S., it's months and months of preparation by underlings, and then the two principals come in and sign a couple documents and take photographs and claim victory. That's not the case here, is it?
Well, not at all. And so it strikes fear in the hearts of diplomats and foreign policy types, because you never want to put your leader in a position where he's not sure what's going to come out of the discussion, right? You want to, game out the possibilities. You want to have your responses in reserve. You don't want to leave a lot to chance. That's not the way that Trump works. He's said before that he likes to decide at the last minute. He likes things to be less scripted, less choreographed. The risk for Ukraine and for Europe is that that Trump wings it and accepts something that Putin suggests, which maybe sounds reasonable, but Putin will have an ulterior motive behind it.
So, Tina, how unusual is it for this type of discussion to take place without one of the principles, that being Ukraine there? How much does that limit what can actually get done?
Well, Putin likes this construct, right? It returns him to the position of Russia being a great power, as it was during the Soviet era. And I said before this that he was never going to allow Zelensky to be in the room for two reasons. One is that would elevate Zelensky to being his peer, which he doesn't accept. And second, because he doesn't accept that Ukraine is a real country. So it is going to be difficult to have this trilateral meeting ever take place. But what Putin wants to happen is to get hold of the concessions that Trump is ready to offer him. There's been some talk of sanctions removal on aircraft, for example, and kind of get on that new trajectory that will allow Russia to, rejoin the international financial system.